Good morning, Guitar Center. Coming to you once again from the room with weird fluorescent lighting and fake Formica furniture. Thanks for making this a part of your routine. Storytelling is a great way to get your point across. One of the greatest communicators of all time was Abraham Lincoln. He was also a great storyteller. On today's podcast, I'm going to talk about handling adversity, and we'll use a story to demonstrate how to handle the problems we face and how to overcome this adversity. I now present a parable on adversity. A young man went to his grandmother and told her about his life and how things were so hard for him. With all that was happening around him, he was devastated. He didn't know how he was going to make it, and he wanted to give up. He was tired of fighting and struggling. It seemed as soon as one problem was solved, a new one arose. His grandmother took him to the kitchen. She filled 3 pots with water and placed each on a high fire. Soon the pots came to a boil. In the first, she placed carrots. In the second, she placed eggs. And in the last, she placed ground coffee beans. She let them sit and boil without saying a word. In about 20 minutes, she turned off the burners. She fished the carrots out and placed them in a bowl. She pulled the eggs out and placed them in a bowl. Then she ladled the coffee out and placed it in its own bowl. Turning to her grandson, she asked, "Tell me what you see." "Carrots, eggs, and coffee," he replied. His grandmother brought him closer and asked him to feel the carrots. He did and noted that they were soft. The mother then asked the grandson to take an egg and break it. After pulling off the shell, he observed the hard-boiled egg. Finally, the grandmother asked the grandson to sip the coffee. The man smiled as he tasted its rich aroma. The grandson then asked, "What does it all mean?" His grandmother explained that each of these objects had faced the same adversity, boiling water. Each reacted differently. The carrot went in strong, hard, and unrelenting. However, after being subjected to the boiling water, it softened and became weak. The egg had been fragile. Its thin outer shell had protected its liquid interior, but after sitting through the boiling water, its inside became hardened. The ground coffee beans were unique, however. After they were in the boiling water, they had changed the water. "Which are you?" she asked her grandson. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? Think of this. Which am I? Am I the carrot that seems strong, but with pain and adversity do I wilt and become soft and lose my strength? Am I the egg that starts with a malleable heart but changes with the heat? Did I have a fluid spirit, but after a rough day, a difficult project, a shortfall, a missed result, or deadline, have I become hardened and stiff? Does my shell look the same, but inside I am bitter and tough, with a stiff spirit and a hardened heart? Or am I like the coffee bean? The bean actually changes the hot water, the very circumstance that brings the pain. When the water gets hot, it releases the fragrance and aroma. If you are like the bean, when things are at the worst, you get better and change the situation around you. When the hour is darkest and the trials are the greatest, you elevate yourself to another level. How do you handle the adversity? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? Thank you for liking, commenting, and sharing this podcast. You know what time it is? It's GC History time. In the late 1990s, Guitar Center found itself amid serious competition. The old stalwart, Sam Ash, had started to open more stores and looked as though they were gaining momentum. Then a new competitor came on the scene, Mars Music. The late 1990s were shaping up to be a battle. At first, it appeared that Mars Music was gaining ground and would soon be in a position to overtake GC as the MI leader. They were the newcomer. They offered lessons in their stores, and they had huge new showrooms. Guitar Center was facing adversity and a challenge like we had never seen before. It would have been easy to blame circumstances and watch our lead in the industry dwindle. However, our CEO at the time, Marty Albertson, would not let that happen. He rallied the company as never before. Marty led a reinvention of Guitar Center, focused on the customer, and reinvigorated our organization. Just a few short years after Mars threatened our position in the marketplace, we were stronger than ever. We had almost doubled in size, opening stores in new markets and opening some right next to our competitors. In 1997, there were questions of who would dominate the MI industry. By the early 2000s, we were growing and thriving. Sam Ash was stagnant, and Mars retreated completely from the industry. When faced with adversity, GC became the coffee bean.